Episode 6. When last we met, when last we saw Swamp Thing, well, Woodrow and Sunderland, they basically had hired some goons to go capture Swamp Thing because Woodrow, he's trying to get Swamp Thing's DNA so he can do testing. The two goons that he hired, they went out into the forest. They try to run up on Swamp Thing. Swamp Thing bust their ass, and it's kind of cool because he's getting more in tune with his powers. Like he's getting more in tune with the green. Like it wasn't like he just ran up on him and beat him up and started punching him. There was a moment where he put his hand on the tree and he was able to fire like tree branches and like sticks at them and and to shoot them and stab them. So he's really getting more in tune with himself and like how everything works, which is nice to see because at this point now that Sunderland and Woodrow, now that they know that he's there, they're not going to stop sending people for him. So he really needs to, he really needs to kick it into high gear as far as his powers are concerned. So, so he puts the two people in the hospital, and then while, they're at the hospital. Also Daniel, he got busted over the head, in the last episode trying to protect Liz. And he's in the hospital and he has a coma. They said that he has a reverse coma that he probably won't come out of. So Abby's there, Liz is there. Liz is telling Abby the story about how they got jumped and how Sunderland was the one, like Avery was the one that tried to run up on him. So Abby gets mad. She walks over to Sunderland and she's like, "How dare you try to attack Liz?" And then Sunderland was just like, "Those some pretty strong allegations, Abby." And then he's like, "You best not come for my head, bitch." So now she's like, "Well, stay away from my friends." And then like she gets mad and she storms out because like Abby knows the deal. Like she knows how the Sunderlands think. She knows how they works. So she's aware of the shenanigans that are upon us. And then she goes and she looks at, the two henchmen people, how like they got like tree stabs in them. One person was like, going into convulsions or whatever. And then Liz and Abby saw it together. And then Liz was just like, "Yo, how could Alex do that? Like you told me Alec wasn't dangerous." And then she was just like, "Alec would never do these things." And then she was just like, "Bitch, hey, look at the proof." So she's like, "Look at the proof, like something wrong." So so Abby's just like, no, she's like, "I can't believe it." So she goes out to the forest to try to find, Alec, to go talk to Alec. Meanwhile, like Liz stays in the hospital with Daniel. So this now brings us to some Blue Devilism, like the Daniel portion of the storyline. They actually take us back to when Daniel was, he was basically like a stunt actor and like on a movie set. You have the main actor, that does all the lines and his face is always shown. But Daniel was playing, like the body double, like the person, like the fill-in. So like whenever, because like actors, whenever an actor is doing an action movie, there's certain, like laws that are in place, like certain insurances that are in place to keep the actor from getting hurt. So that's why they have a body double to step in to take those hits. Like those people get paid, to take those hits. So, but Daniel's whole thing was he always wanted to be like the main star. He didn't just want to be, like the fill-in character. So he's on set, just wallowing in his own self-pity. And then this mysterious, creepy-looking dude shows up. He lies to him, says that he's a producer or something, that he's on set. The two of them are talking about it. They're having a conversation. And then Daniel tells him, he's just like, "Yeah, like I wish I could actually be the star of the film. I just want to get a chance." And then the guy was just like, "Hey, I can make that happen for you." And then he's like, "Really?" He's just like, "Yeah." He's like, I can put you in a situation where you finally get your chance to be the star. The only thing I need," he said, but if you're going to do that, I need you to do something for me." He was just like, "I need you to go to Murray, Louisiana, because there's a girl there that needs protecting, and I'm going to need you to protect her." The guy never said how or or what the situation was, but Daniel, because he wanted to be a star, he said yes. So the guy ended up being like a wizard, maybe like a Constantine type character. Maybe he was a ghost, maybe he was the devil. Like who knew? He could have actually just flat out been the devil, like for all we know, in the devil in disguise. And then, he set certain things in motion to where the main actor ended up leaving the show. And then the producers told Daniel he could have the role as the Blue Devil, which is how Daniel got his start. But then Daniel had to honor his side of the agreement. He had to go to Murray, Louisiana. And when he went to Murray, Louisiana, he got trapped in, like in a spiritual, like magical bubble to the point where he can't leave until the task is done. But now that he's locked up in the hospital with his head bust, it doesn't look like he'll be able to, he'll be able to repay, to repay that debt. But see, but then your boy Woodrow, because Woodrow, he was doing some studying with, with the little piece of DNA that he got from, he got from Abby. He ends up using that on Daniel to see if he can cure like his brain disease, and then it ends up working. Like Daniel ends up waking up. But the thing about it is, Daniel's power, like whatever deal he made, like the spiritual power that he has, it's basically magic. Like Daniel has magic infused with him. The stuff that Woodrow gave him was man-made, like it was a man-made serum. It also has some of the magical swamp properties in it. And I guess between like the magic and the swamp juice that he got, it started like, canceling each other out, or like fighting with each other. And he just started wigging out. He started smoking, like he woke up, like his heart rate went back up. His body started catching fire, like his body started like lighting up blue. And then even Liz tried to touch his arm, and then she screamed because she was just like, yo, your arm is hot. And then he started freaking out. He just walked out the hospital. He just bounced and walked out the hospital. He goes all the way down to Woodrow's house, and he's just like, fix me, mother. And he's like, what's happening to me? And then, like Woodrow's just like, I don't know. They're trying to calm him down. And then the wife comes out, she I guess she put some penicillin or some shit. She basically injected him with something that knocked him out. Avery showed up with the shotgun because he was ready to kill him. And then, then him and Avery had a conversation where they were basically saying that, listen, the serum that I came up with, it cured this man's brain coma. So, but unfortunately, there's like a weird side effect. And it's unfortunate because the side effect had nothing to do with the serum per se, but Avery's whole thing was like, I don't care about the side effects. He was just like, yo, what you did just brought this poor boy out of a coma. So he was just like, you make yourself a report that explains how all this shit works to the point where we can sell this to the market so we can get paid. Like, he's just trying to get paid. So now they're taking the Blue Devil back to the hospital to do further studies on him. And then Woodrow told him, he was like, listen, in order for me to recreate that, I need more samples. But I need samples from the creature that Abby Arcane is friends with and Abby knows about. So he was like, if you can get Abby to take me to where this monster is, because we didn't capture him, we failed to capture him. If you can get Abby to give him up, I can get the samples that I need so we can produce more of the serum. So Avery was like, yo, I got you. He's like, I got you on that. So then Madame Xanadu shows up. I love Madame Xanadu. Madame Xanadu shows up now. She goes to the hospital. She goes to talk to Daniel. And then she's like, Daniel, she's like, me knew this would happen to you, but me didn't want to interfere with your destiny. So she was just like, but she's like, you're struggling between two parts of yourself and you're being ripped to shreds, but we need you, Daniel. And she's like, me like you, Daniel. So Madame Xanadu used her voodoo power. She put her hand on his head and she was like, me calm your mind now. So now you can rest easy. And I don't know if Madame Xanadu is the one responsible for what's going to happen to him, but he got, between the swamp serum, between the magical devil curse, and now the Madame Xanadu thing, like, there's a lot of stuff going through this man's system right now. So he in trouble. He's definitely in trouble. So, but we'll see the outcome for that in the next episode. So now, back to Abby. So Abby Arcane, she ends up running down to the swamp to go see Alec. So now Maddie, him and his mom are having a conversation because, that she knows, like she knows that he was the one, that shot Alec Holland. So now she, the two of them, they're basically like, they're talking it out. And then she was just like, oh, you're working for Avery Sunderland now. You're going to do his dirty work. And he was like, woman, she was like, you've been doing his dirty work for 30 years. He was like, the man has 2 folders full of dirty deeds, money that you took, bribes, like all the dishonest stuff that you took. And he was like, it's not that I'm working for him. He told me that he would expose you as a dirty cop and get you in trouble if I didn't do this for him. So he's like, I did this shit to protect you. So she was like, I don't need you to protect me. He was like, well, bitch, I don't need you to protect me. And the two of them get into a fight. And then, like they get mad at each other, whatever, because they just found out that they both dirty. So then the call comes out, that there's something going down in the swamp. Maddie goes to check it out. Abby's out there talking to Swamp Thing, like the two of them are having a conversation. and then Maddie shows up. He rolls up on, he rolls up on Abby. Swamp Thing shows up and tries to beat up, Maddie. Abby, she's just like, no, you're both my friends. And then, and then she was like, this is Alec Holland, and then he was just like, that's Alec Holland, because he's scared now because he the one that shot his ass. And then he says the Swamp Thing, he's just like, do you know me? Do you remember anything about me? And then he was like, yes, you were at the docks protecting Abby after I turned into this creature. So he was just like, woo! So we in the clear on that one. So Maddie good because he knows that Swamp Thing doesn't recognize him as the person that shot him. So he's talking to Abby. He's just like, listen, are you going to come back with me? And then she's like, no. She's just like, Alec's my friend. I'm going to stay here with him. I'm going to try to help him. And I'm not going to leave until I save him. So then Maddie's like, all right, cool. He leaves. He goes back to the precinct. He goes talk to his mom. He's like, yo, we need to talk. Because his whole thing is like, you know that I'm the one that killed Alec Holland. This mofo is alive and he green. And he's big and green. So we got some problems on our hand. And, and so now they're so like everybody's after him now. So like Sunderland's going after him because him and Woodrow need his body samples. Maddie and his mom have a plan now because now that they know that that's Alec Holland, they don't want to be exposed for Maddie being the one that killed him. And Abby now, she's, Liz is trying to help out the Blue Devil. She's trying to help out Daniel. And Abby, she's staying at the old at the old laboratory house with Swamp Thing. So the two of them are talking. She's just like, it's nice to be back here again. We always find ourselves here. And then, that's when Swamp Thing showed her. He was just like, there are different things going on with my power. He was like, the green is trying to talk to me. It's trying to speak to me. It's trying to teach me. And then he ended up doing some trick where he was able to make like a flower come out of his hand. And he gave the flower to Abby. The flower busted into like all these particles. And this is his power growing now. Like, again, like he's getting more in tune with the green. He's getting more in tune with the swamp. So, and the swamp is magical. I mean, let's just call a spade a spade. Like, this is magic. So, like, the swamp is magic. And the particles that exploded, it transformed Swamp Thing back into Alec Holland. And I don't think it literally physically turned him back into Alec. I feel like it just projected his biggest desire, or it projected to Abby what Abby wanted to see, which was her whole thing is she wants to see Alec Holland again. So now that Alec Holland is back, which is also a good way of getting the actor back on the show. Now that Alec is back, him and Abby now are going to try to investigate this whole green situation and try to see if they can understand it so they can change him back to normal. And that was it. That was it. Good episode. It was a very good episode. It was a lot of talking. All the action really came in the beginning, but it was mostly just like a lot of character development, a lot of story. It's good to finally get more stuff with the Blue Devil because he's turning now. Like we didn't seen the fire, like we didn't seen his hand light up blue. We didn't seen the blue going through his veins. And Sunderland's serum is the last aspect that basically like pushed him over the edge. So probably in the next episode he's gonna turn full on Blue Devil. And then we get to see Blue Devil join the fold as well. So thank you for tuning in. That was like I said, that was it. That was Swamp Thing this week. Like I said, a good episode. We're definitely moving this thing along. We have 4 more episodes to go. I am waiting for the Blue Devil reveal. And I'm waiting for the moment where Avery Sunderland basically hires every single person he knows with a gun to go take out Swamp Thing so they can get his remains. So leave a comment about what you thought about the episode, what you think about Swamp Thing so far. What do you think about the Blue Devil and all the other characters? Where do we think this will go? And we'll talk about it. So thank you for tuning in. And for the green, until next time, for the icon, take care, guys. And I'm out this bitch.